Welcome to Indonesia, where ancient traditions defy modern laws. Did you know that in Java, there's a festival where women engage in intimate encounters with strangers? This practice, rooted in spiritual beliefs, exists alongside strict premarital intimacy laws. Let's explore this cultural paradox and uncover the deeper meanings behind it. Let's talk about Indonesia's legal landscape, where the unexpected clash between tradition and modern law creates a fascinating paradox. In this Southeast Asian nation, the government takes a hard stance against premarital intimacy and cohabitation. Did you know that engaging in extramarital affairs can lead to a 1-year prison sentence? Even more surprising, unmarried couples living together might face up to 6 months behind bars. These strict laws reflect Indonesia's conservative values, but they're not just on the books. They're becoming even more stringent. The Indonesian parliament recently passed a new law prohibiting cohabitation among unmarried couples. While this law won't take effect for 3 years to allow time for implementation regulations, it signals a clear commitment to upholding traditional moral codes. In some regions, like Aceh, the situation is even more intense. Here, Sharia law is enforced, permitting public caning for offenses such as adultery and homosexual activities. This highlights the extremely strict moral code present in parts of the country. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Despite these harsh legal restrictions, the Intimacy Festival at Gunung Kukes Temple continues to take place. This raises a perplexing question. How can such a seemingly contradictory practice coexist with Indonesia's legal system? The festival, shrouded in mystery and controversy, occurs regularly at the temple in Java. Participants gather under the cover of night, engaging in rituals that involve intimate encounters between strangers. The exact frequency of these events is not widely publicized, adding to their enigmatic nature. During the festival, participants believe that their actions will bring good fortune from the gods. This spiritual motivation underscores the deep cultural roots of the practice. But how does this belief reconcile with the country's legal stance on premarital intimacy? The persistence of this festival in the face of such strict laws presents a fascinating conundrum. It's a prime example of how deeply ingrained cultural and spiritual practices can sometimes transcend modern legal structures. This raises important questions about the relationship between law, culture, and spirituality in Indonesian society. Consider the complexity of enforcing laws that directly contradict long-standing traditions. How do local authorities navigate this delicate balance? Are there unspoken agreements or tacit understandings that allow the festival to continue despite its apparent illegality? The existence of this festival also sheds light on the multifaceted nature of Indonesian culture. It reminds us that no society is monolithic, and that seemingly contradictory elements can coexist, often in surprising ways. This complexity challenges our preconceptions and invites us to look deeper into the cultural fabric of Indonesia. To truly understand the Intimacy Festival at Gunung Kukes Temple, we need to explore its spiritual significance and cultural context. This unique practice isn't just about physical encounters, it's deeply rooted in beliefs about fortune and divine blessings. Participants in the festival, primarily business owners, believe that engaging in these intimate rituals will lead to prosperity and success in their ventures. It's a fascinating example of how spiritual beliefs can manifest in unexpected ways, challenging our preconceptions about religion and morality. But to fully appreciate this practice, we need to zoom out and look at the bigger picture of Indonesian culture. Did you know that Indonesia is home to over 300 ethnic groups, each with its own distinct customs and traditions? This incredible diversity contributes to a rich tapestry of cultural practices that can sometimes seem contradictory or surprising to outsiders. The Intimacy Festival is just one thread in this complex cultural fabric. To put it in context, let's explore another unique Indonesian tradition, the Yad Kasada Festival. This celebration takes place near Mount Bromo, an active volcano in East Java. During the festival, participants make offerings to the volcano god Bromo, reflecting a blend of ancient beliefs and gratitude for nature's power. The Yad Kasada Festival like the intimacy ritual at Gunung Kukus Temple, showcases how deeply rooted spiritual beliefs often transcend modern legal structures. These practices have persisted for generations, passing down ancient wisdom and connecting communities to their ancestral heritage. Indonesia's cultural landscape is a vibrant mosaic of such traditions, each telling a unique story about the people who practice them. From the intricate batik patterns of Java to the elaborate funeral ceremonies of Toraja, these customs reflect the diverse ways Indonesians express their spirituality, values, and connection to the land. The Intimacy Festival at Gunung Kukus Temple, while perhaps more controversial than other practices, is part of this broader cultural context. It's a reminder that spiritual beliefs can take many forms, and that what may seem unusual or even inappropriate in one culture can hold deep meaning in another. This diversity of practices raises interesting questions about the nature of spirituality and its role in society. How do these ancient traditions coexist with modern life in Indonesia? What can they teach us about the enduring power of belief and ritual? As we consider these questions, it's important to approach such practices with an open mind and a willingness to understand their cultural significance. The Intimacy Festival, like many other Indonesian traditions, reflects a complex interplay between spirituality, community, and individual aspirations. The persistence of these practices in the face of legal restrictions and changing societal norms speaks to their deep cultural roots. It demonstrates how spiritual beliefs can often transcend modern legal structures, existing in a kind of parallel reality where ancient wisdom and contemporary life intersect. This coexistence of tradition and modernity is a defining feature of Indonesian culture. It's a delicate balance where age-old rituals and beliefs continue to shape people's lives even as the country embraces technological advancement and global integration. Let's shift our focus to other aspects of Indonesian culture that might surprise you. While the Intimacy Festival at Gunung Kukus Temple is certainly eye-catching, it's just one small part of Indonesia's rich and diverse cultural landscape. Take Jakarta, for instance. The capital city boasts a vibrant nightlife that rivals many global metropolises. High-quality entertainment venues like Blowfish and Dragonfly attract both locals and tourists, offering a stark contrast to the conservative image often associated with Indonesia. These nightclubs pulse with energy, showcasing a side of Indonesian culture that's modern, cosmopolitan, and ready to party. But Jakarta's nightlife isn't just about glitz and glamour. Beneath the surface, there's a complex world that includes elements of the sex industry. Despite legal restrictions, red light districts continue to exist in various forms, from online dating platforms to undercover operations in nightclubs. This underground scene reflects the ongoing tension between traditional values and modern desires in Indonesian society. Speaking of relationships, Indonesia offers some truly unique stories. Have you heard about Khan, the man who's been married 88 times? While many of these marriages were informal and not legally registered, his story highlights the complex attitudes towards relationships in Indonesia. Khan's longest marriage lasted 14 years, while others were remarkably brief. This tale serves as a fascinating case study in how some Indonesians navigate love, commitment, and social expectations. When it comes to the role of women in Indonesian society, we encounter another layer of complexity. Despite progress in many areas, challenges remain. Approximately 1/3 of women aged 15 to 64 have experienced abuse in their lives, with higher rates reported in urban areas and among those with higher education levels. These statistics paint a sobering picture of the ongoing struggle for gender equality in Indonesia. At the same time, we see powerful expressions of female identity and religious devotion in the custom of wearing headscarves. For many Indonesian women, particularly those of Islamic faith, the headscarf represents cultural identity and religious beliefs. It's a visible symbol of respect and devotion, highlighting the important role that religion plays in shaping Indonesian culture. But Indonesia isn't just about its people and customs. The country's natural wonders are equally awe-inspiring. Did you know that Indonesia is home to over 400 active volcanoes? This gives Indonesia the highest density of volcanoes in the world. These fiery giants don't just shape the physical landscape, they also influence local culture, folklore, and even tourism. And let's not forget about Indonesia's unique wildlife. The country boasts some truly remarkable species, including the Rafflesia arnoldi, the world's largest flower. This botanical wonder can weigh up to 11 kg and emits a strong odor reminiscent of rotting flesh to attract pollinators. It's a perfect example of how nature in Indonesia can be both beautiful and bizarre. As we've seen, Indonesia is a land of contrasts and surprises. The Intimacy Festival at Gunung Kukes Temple challenges our preconceptions about culture and morality in ways we might never have expected. It's a stark reminder that the world is far more complex than we often assume. Practices like this force us to confront our own biases and assumptions about what's normal or acceptable in different societies. What seems shocking or taboo to us might be deeply meaningful to others. This is why it's crucial to understand cultural contexts before passing judgment on unfamiliar practices. Consider how the Intimacy Festival coexists with Indonesia's strict laws against premarital intimacy. This apparent contradiction highlights the intricate balance between tradition and modernity that shapes Indonesian society. It's not a simple case of old versus new, but a complex interweaving of ancient beliefs, modern governance, and evolving social norms. Indonesia's cultural landscape is incredibly diverse, with over 300 ethnic groups each contributing their unique traditions and customs. This diversity creates a rich tapestry of beliefs and practices that can sometimes seem contradictory to outsiders. The Intimacy Festival is just one thread in this complex fabric, alongside other unique traditions, like the Yad Kasada Festival near Mount Bromo. Understanding this cultural complexity requires us to approach different cultures with an open mind and genuine curiosity. It's easy to judge based on our own cultural norms, but doing so often leads to misunderstanding and missed opportunities for learning. Instead, we should strive to see the world through different cultural lenses, appreciating the rich variety of human experience. This doesn't mean we have to agree with or adopt every practice we encounter. Rather, it's about developing a more nuanced understanding of how different societies function and the values that underpin their customs. By doing so, we can gain valuable insights into human nature and the diverse ways people find meaning and connection in their lives. The case of Indonesia's Intimacy Festival offers a powerful lesson in cultural relativism. It reminds us that morality and social norms are not universal constants, but rather products of specific cultural, historical, and religious contexts. What seems immoral or illegal in one society might be seen as a sacred tradition in another. This cultural complexity extends beyond just traditions and customs. It's reflected in Indonesia's bustling cities, its approach to relationships, and even its natural wonders. From the vibrant nightlife of Jakarta to the unique wildlife like the Rafflesia arnoldi, Indonesia is a country of endless fascination and discovery. Understanding such cultural complexities can greatly enrich our global perspective. It helps us move beyond stereotypes and simplistic categorizations, allowing us to appreciate the full spectrum of human diversity. This broader understanding can foster greater empathy, tolerance, and cooperation across cultural boundaries. Moreover, exploring these cultural intricacies can shed light on our own societies and belief systems. By comparing and contrasting different cultural practices, we gain a fresh perspective on our own traditions and values. We might find ourselves questioning assumptions we've long held or discovering new ways of thinking about familiar concepts. The balance Indonesia strikes between tradition and modernity is particularly instructive. It shows how societies can maintain connections to their cultural heritage while also adapting to the demands of the modern world. This delicate equilibrium is something many countries grapple with, and Indonesia's approach offers valuable insights.